The nut scandal that almost ruined Korean Air.
On December 5th, 2014, a flight operated by Korean Air was set to fly from New York City to Seoul, South Korea.
Was that a 16-hour flight?
But before it could even get off the ground, several people's lives were permanently altered by a bag of nuts. But despite where you might think this is going,
I thought this was going to be the nut scandal, like a chipmunk climbed into the fucking airplane overnight and started storing just all of its acorns and like peanuts that like weighed down one of the sides of the planes or something.
It's not a story about someone having an allergic reaction and the traumatized passengers who witness it. Instead, the story...
I had a rat problem at my old place back when I used to live in a trailer, and we got back from like this trip for a week. This was when I was like 8 years old. And a rat had taken all of the Hershey Kisses that were in a bowl and arranged them in a line in between the gap between my washer, or not my washer, my dishwasher and the countertop. Because it was like, there was a gap about this big, and there was just a line of Hershey Kisses all the way from the back to the front. It's very weird. Never found out why it did that, but I had a rat problem. I remember there was a rat problem. And we had a rat and a bat problem, separate times. But when the rats were there, they would like grab stuff, and I still think about it. Like to this day, I'm like, why did it do that? I know it was storing the food in some way, but it was like so not perfectly organized, but it was like almost perfect. Like it was just like lined, like he like individually carried one over every time.
Instead, the story centers around Cho Hyun-ah, also known as Heather Cho, a vice president at Korean Air who was sitting in...
Did she have a nut allergy or something?
...first class for that flight. As the plane was preparing to take off, a flight attendant handed Mrs. Cho a bag of macadamia nuts. And this is when all hell broke loose.
The CEO or like one of the heads of the company gets a bag of macadamia nuts. Macadamia? You know I only eat cashews. How dare you?
Cho was instantly enraged because she was served the nuts in a bag instead of in a bowl. Yes, that's...
Oh my God. Like that enraged her? I get maybe it'd be like policy to like put them in a bowl for first class. But if you're the CEO, I'd be like, you guys are supposed to put this in a bowl and move on. Not, oh, what do you think I am, some poor person sitting in coach? Are you going to offer me next a Biscoff cookie? Who do you think I am, some peasant?
The grave offense that's...
Next you're going to offer me fentanyl, I bet. That's why I do it in the back bathroom.
...started this whole thing. Cho began screaming at the flight attendant, a woman named Kim Do-hee, reportedly yelling, "What kind of service is this?" and berating her for a minute before realizing that she should really be yelling at Kim's boss. So she called over the cabin crew chief, Park Chang-jin, and began screaming at him instead, throwing the bag of nuts against a wall in the process. She asked Park why she had been served macadamia nuts in a bag instead of in a bowl, to which he replied,
and imagine being a customer. Like you're sitting in first class next to her. You're also rich, but you're like not a dickhead. And you're going, whoa, this is like out of a movie level of like fucking, you know, privilege. You care that bad, just tear it open. The only thing that warrants this level of anger is if you're handed a Nature Valley bar in first class in the package. And it's like an older plastic one that's really hard to tear, and you just know it's going to go everywhere. Like, that would be the problem.
Simply following the official Korean Air service manual. Cho then demanded that they bring her...
I'm not dissing Nature Valley. I'm saying if you have a Nature Valley bar, it's like in that situation, I'd be like, all right, could you open it for me? Because the entire pain of a Nature Valley bar is opening a Nature Valley bar. Whereas, like, you're just tearing open a bag of nuts.
Cho then demanded that they bring her the service manual to prove it. So Park grabbed a tablet which had the manual on it. Nervous from the situation, he accidentally mistyped the password for the tablet, causing Cho to get even more upset. But once he was able to get the manual open, he showed Cho proof that the flight attendant had correctly followed the guidelines for the cabin crew when it comes to serving macadamia nuts.
Oh, so it literally, like, they're right. So she's also just a shitty CEO that doesn't even know her own manual. Like, they didn't even fuck up. She's just crashing out for no reason. That's wild. Do you think it's like a germ thing? You're not supposed to give them in a bowl because it's like, ooh, loose nuts.
And if they had a whole
that's kind of weird
thing dedicated to that, I can only imagine how long that manual was. It's just a shame that they didn't have a section for—
Dude, serving nuts is really a rich person thing. You ever been to a shitty fucking, like, restaurant or, like, small eat spot and, like, one of the menu items is, like, mixed nuts? $9. Why don't you just give me dirt and charge me for it? Mixed nuts, $9. Are you fucking serious? That should be free. Mixed nuts, fucking $9. If I'm at a bar and I'm buying fucking $20 drinks, $18 mixed drinks, and I have to pay $9 to get a shitty trail mix that you got from fucking Walmart down the street in a big barrel,
of the company throws the bag of nuts at you. Unfortunately, the evidence that she was wrong did not do much to calm down Mrs. Cho. Instead, she continued yelling at both Kim and Park, eventually forcing them to get on their knees and beg for her forgiveness.
I know the job market's rough, but I don't think there's a world where I would get on my knees and beg a random woman that owns the company to, like, please save me. Quitting on the spot? Yeah, literally being like, all right, I'm taking this flight now. Fuck you.
That might seem intense, but anyone who's ever been handed a bag of macadamia nuts instead of having them presented to you in a bowl can understand the frustration. While the flight attendants were on their knees, Cho continued berating them and then grabbed the tablet and started hitting Park's knuckles with it. Again, I think we can all agree that—
What is this? What are we in a fucking 1930s American classroom where you get hit with a ruler? What type of shit is that? She started breaking his knuckles with a fucking iPad?
This is a pretty rational response, considering—
Honestly, get your bag, you know? Honestly, him kind of leaning— if he had just quit, that would be bad, you know? Because if he had quit, he's not getting anything. Like, maybe he just gets like a nice pay package for leaving. Now he could sue the shit out of her. Like, she's beating him with an iPad for giving her mixed nuts. Or not mixed nuts, macadamia nuts.
What Cho had endured. She then fired Park and demanded that the plane be sent back to the gate so he can be kicked off. The entire interaction took place in the first-class cabin, but there was only one other passenger flying first class on that flight.
Oh, so nobody was there to see it. I think somebody else would have fucking said something to her.
And I can only imagine the severe discomfort that person was experiencing in that moment. Sorry to interrupt, but could I trouble you for a ginger ale when you have a chance? The plane, which still—
Trouble you for a ginger ale? I would say something. If I was on a first-class plane for Korean Air and I know the CEO is crashing out on this person, I'm going, yo, I'm never flying with you again. Like, you're awful. Like, you need to step down. No, you wouldn't. Yes, the fuck I would. Yes, the fuck I would, because I don't work for her. What is she going to do? Ban me from Korean Airlines? Oh, boo fucking who? Oh, boo fucking who? There's a million fucking airlines. You take another one. You're not the hero. I'm not saying I'm a hero. I'm not doing that in this hero complex of like, let me save the day. You stop hitting that man in the knuckles with an iPad. I would be annoyed personally of how awkward and weird that is. I would walk up and be like, you're being a weird, like you're being a loser. Like, why are you crashing out? Like, what type of weird, prissy, rich shit is this? Like, I don't have, like, bro, because you got to realize, like, flying first class is fine. Like, if you have the money to fly it, fine. Spend the money to fly it. But, like, that level of, I hate rich people that act like snobby movie rich people. Like, I understand I have money now. I didn't have money then. And even though I have money now, I'm going to still tip people well. I'll, like, still be forgiving for mess ups. Like, honestly, I've always said, most of the time, if a waitress brings me the wrong thing, I'm probably not sending it back, right? The rich people shit where it's like, oh, I have money, so therefore you must serve me better than the average person. No, you're just a regular-ass motherfucker. And I understand in first class you're paying for better service, but it's like, dude, they'll bring you like a damp towel to fucking wipe your face with. I flew first class one time, upgraded, and it was paid for by a company that was taking me somewhere. When I sat down, they handed me a wet towel. I went, what? Like what am I? It was a hot, wet towel, and he handed it to me, and I went, like, what am I supposed to do with this? He's like, it's for your hands or your face. I went, okay. And I just like put my hands with it, handed it back to him. I'm like, this is the most useless shit ever. That's the type of rich people shit I don't understand. I have money now. I'm like, that is stupid. Like, why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? What do you need? Well, I need a warm towel for what? Like, I'm sitting on a fucking airline. Just give me like a drink and then I'm fine. Here's a water. Thanks. That's all I need.
The fact that he's Korean. Don't worry, Park. We'll let you buy a ticket back. The flight then took off 46 minutes late.
What's the most rich person thing you've done? I buy Main Plus when I fly now. I don't sit in the back of the plane, but I don't buy first class. I get Main Plus. 6 extra inches of leg room and a free checked bag. That's balling. I spend, if I'm flying, if like regular coach is like $400, I'll pay $650 for more leg room. And is it a waste of money? Yeah, sure. But like, that's why, like, I have the money for that. I don't have the money. I do have the money. I could fly first class, but it's stupid to fly first class. Like, that's just like, you're full on wasting money. Cause like Main Plus is $650 if coach is 4. First class is like $1,400 for a 4-hour flight or like a 3-hour flight. Like, I'm not paying that. Like, I'm just getting conned. You know, but if I was flying like to like Asia, like if I ever fly to like Thailand or something, I'd buy one of the lay down seats. Cause sitting upright for 15 hours, I'm gonna be fucking bashing my head on the walls, man. That shit sounds terrible. Like, that I would pay the money for. What's the most rich person thing I've done though? I don't know. Like, I don't know. What do you mean by that? I bought like, oh no, you know the biggest rich person thing that I've done now that I'm at the point in my life, I will give the waitress my card before knowing how much the bill was. I don't look at the bill. Like, if I'm out to eat, that's the thing that I've noticed. I'll just hand them my card. Well, either way you're paying. Some people just do that, but like, I'll just hand them my card, but that's it. Like, I used to look at the bill. Now I don't look at the bill.
Flight attendant Kim Do-hee,
it's not really rich, it's more financial security.
Was not dismissed, since Cho had shifted her hatred towards...
What if they charge you for some shit you didn't order? I don't know. That probably has happened before. Ooh, no. The richest thing that I do is I buy my friend... Every time I go out, I buy shots. I waste money when I go out. If I go out to a bar, I'm probably blowing like $400 on drinks. That's like the stupidest shit I do. But it's like, I'd rather, like, I would want my friends to do that if they had money. So it's like, I want to do that shit. Like, I have money, I go out with my friends, I turn, like, they're all talking, I turn around, I have a tray of shots. Like, it's fun. Like, because I could spend that money. Yeah, gambling, sure. What else? I don't know. Way back, I was financing my car, and I had, like, it was like 3 years that I had to finance this car. And like a year and a half in, I went, what the fuck am I doing? And I just paid it off. Like, I guess that. It was like, I was just like, why? Just buy it.
But we can only imagine the tension in that first-class cabin during the flight. And it's a good thing the moist towelette was the right temperature. Otherwise, we would have had to run the whole thing back.
See, that's what I'm saying, this moist towelette. That's the thing they run on every airline. Why am I getting a moist towelette? I've never been somewhere where they do that. It's weird. I don't want that. Why are you giving me a wet towel? It's like, honestly, I get, it's nice that it's warm, but it's like, ugh. Like, I don't, why?
Now, if you've heard this story and you're wondering how Heather Cho had enough power to not only fire the cabin crew chief for something this trivial, but also to turn the plane around and order it back to the gate, allow me to provide some context. Mrs. Cho was not just a vice president at Korean Air. She was also the daughter of Korean Air chairman and CEO Cho Yang-ho.
Oh, so she's like a Nepo baby.
You see, large South Korean conglomerates, known in the country as chaebols, are often controlled by powerful families. Members of these families are practically nobility, which is why everyone unquestionably obeyed Heather Cho throughout her macadamia nut tirade. Following the whole thing, Korean Air went out of their way to silence the incident and prevent it from getting into the public eye.
I'd take $2 million to not say anything. If I'm one of them, I'd go give me $5 million. Retirement money. I won't say anything. You don't need it? No, but I'm saying if you're an average worker, I'd be like, I'd rather get $5 million and just dip.
And pressuring them into lying about the situation during the investigation from South Korea's Ministry of Transport.
Oh, that's really bad.
He gave Park a statement to say to the investigators, and Korean Air executives were reportedly present during the entire questioning. Since Park could tell the investigation was biased, he reported the story directly to the media, and that was when things got bad for Korean Air. They immediately issued a statement addressing the situation, apologizing for the inconvenience, but saying that it was Heather Cho's responsibility to enforce the procedures of the cabin crew, and she was simply doing her job. Not sure what kind of job requires you to attack your employees.
To hit him in the knuckles with an iPad and make him get on his knees. I think if anything, it'd be like, hey man, you're doing this wrong.
But maybe she was just making sure their combat skills were up to par. Their justification for Park being fired, despite him being totally in the right, was that he hadn't produced the proof quickly enough. And
he got the iPad code wrong is why they fired him. He mistyped the password. Wow.
We know a woman who delayed a flight by 45 minutes over a bag of nuts really values timeliness.
No, and that's like, dude, people always go, oh, 45 minutes, you know, your flight's delayed, that's not too bad. But you got to realize, like, a flight getting delayed like 20 minutes is a butterfly effect for the rest of that day, is what's so fucked. Like, if you have a flight in the morning get delayed by an hour, every flight on that plane for the rest of the day is now delayed at least an hour.
Further research into Cho revealed that this was not her first time behaving like this. In 2013, she physically assaulted a flight attendant who served her improperly cooked ramen noodles. This woman really is a hero for everyone who despises airline food. Cho was also involved in a separate controversy that same year when she traveled to Hawaii to give birth to her twin boys, therefore allowing them to be US citizens and avoid the South Korean mandatory military service. And in the interest of efficiency, maybe she was even able to clobber some flight attendants on the journey there. In fact, it seems most of the Cho family has a history of mean behavior, with Heather's sister, brother, and mother all involved in
water rage? What is it? What nut rage? Brother of nut rage heiress injures mom in Christmas Day feud over power control, or mum. Korean Air matriarch receives suspended jail sentence for abusing domestic staff. Why are they always hitting their employees?
Similar scandals. So the public wasn't buying the half-assed apology, and sales of Korean Air flights had dropped by 6.6%. Finally, the airline was forced to admit defeat. Cho Yang-ho stood before journalists and publicly apologized for his daughter's nut rage, calling it a foolish act and saying, "It's my fault. As chairman and father, I ask for the public's generous forgiveness." He also said that his daughter would be resigning from her positions at Korean Air. Heather Cho herself then stepped up to apologize in front of the media, hanging her head in shame and announcing that she would also be personally apologizing to Park and Kim. She reportedly went to their houses to do so, but neither of them were home, probably busy looking for jobs. So she left them both notes saying sorry instead.
They didn't get, bro, she left them a note saying sorry. Oh my God. Why don't they just give them money? Like, I know that's like a sweep under the rug thing, but if it's like you're gonna abuse those employees like that and then fire them, it's like, give them $1 million. And then it's like, it's not all as good, but it's like, okay, you know, I got something out of this.
Glad she handled this apology like she was delivering a package that required a signature. Still, the backlash had reached a new level, with some people describing it as a national embarrassment and proof of chaebol power abuse. The whole thing was then taken to court, where Heather Cho was found guilty of obstructing aviation safety and sentenced to 10 months in prison. She was released after 5. And I honestly have no idea if that's too much of a punishment or not enough. Korean Air was also fined
Yeah, I don't really know. I've never been presented woman crashes out for getting nuts and hits guy with iPad.
$2.57 million by the Transport Ministry for the incident, as well as being ordered to pay $45,000 to Park for what he
Bro, what? Why is the ministry suing for $2.57 million and the employee gets $45K? Like, what type of lame ass shit is that? Why is the ministry not giving that money to him? $40K? Bro, $40K? Are you serious? So he just gets a yearly salary. Yeah, that's good, but it's like, bro, like you were a part of like a big ass thing with like Korean Air abusing employees.
And led to a revision in the South Korean aviation laws, increasing the punishments for disruptive passengers. But the best thing to come from this was in South Korean supermarkets, where sales of macadamia nuts rose 250% following the incident. And that wasn't even some kind of protest. The whole thing just gave people a craving, I guess. It also
yeah, I haven't had macadamia nuts in a while now that I'm thinking about it.
Gave Heather Cho a bad public image, which seems to have followed her over the years. In 2023, she changed her name from Cho Hyun-ah to Cho Seong-yeon. Yeah, that should fix everything. As for the only other passenger in first class, she actually contacted Korean Air about the incident after it happened. In response, the airline sent her a calendar and a model airplane as an apology. And honestly, I don't think they owe her any.
Holy corporate dystopia. Sorry you had a bad time. Here's a Korean Air themed calendar and a little plastic thing you could put on your desk.
She already got to witness the greatest in-flight entertainment of all time. Now please consider subscribing, or I'll turn this whole plane around and banish you to JFK Airport.
Oh god, JFK Airport, I can't go there. I'll subscribe. JFK Airport's fucking hell. Only airport worse, Newark Airport. Miami Airport also sucks. Newark Airport blows. Denver Airport's the size of a fucking country. Ever go to Denver Airport? Get from gate A to gate J. Takes 30 minutes. Fucking walking for 9 hours trying to get anywhere Denver Airport. All airports suck? Nah, some are chill. A lot of Texas airports are pretty easy to navigate. Atlanta Airport and Newark ain't that bad. Newark Airport sucks. It really does. Parking at Newark Airport's terrible. It's like fucking $500 for like 3 days. Dude, long-term parking is horrible. I don't know the worst airport I've ever been. I went to St. Martin Airport when it was after the hurricane. They had wires hanging from the ceiling. And it was like the airport was like half broken. I was like, wow, this is rough. There was no AC either. But that was also like, hey, they just got hit with a hurricane. So can't really knock them, you know. All right, next video, chat.